with today's most important and breaking news. Daily Decode News begins now.
Australia's spy chief accuses China of targeting critical infrastructure. Australia's intelligence chief, Mike Burgess, has issued a serious warning about growing cyber threats to the country's security. According to him, hackers linked to the Chinese government and military are targeting Australia's energy, water, transport, and telecommunications networks. Burgess says that in the past 5 years, unprecedented levels of espionage have increased the risk of cyber-enabled sabotage. He pointed to 2 major Chinese hacker groups. Salt Typhoon focused mainly on espionage and data theft. Volt Typhoon aims to disrupt critical infrastructure in the US and Australia, preparing for potential future sabotage. Official estimates show that in 2023 to 2024, Australia lost about a $12.5 billion $8.2 billion due to espionage, with $2 billion worth of trade secrets and intellectual property stolen, much of it linked to China. Burgess warned, "Imagine if a nation-state shut down all our networks, cut power during a heatwave, poisoned our water, or crippled our financial system. That would be catastrophic." The Australian government is now working to strengthen its national cyber defense systems in response to these threats. Massive power outage hits the Dominican Republic. A nationwide blackout struck the Dominican Republic on Tuesday, leaving millions without electricity. At 1:23 p.m. local time 17:23 GMT, a failure in the transmission system triggered a countrywide power outage, officials confirmed. According to authorities, 2 major power plants suddenly went offline, causing what they described as a cascade of failures across the national grid. By Tuesday evening, about 33% of the country's electricity supply had been restored, but crews were still working to fully reconnect the system. In the capital, Santo Domingo, metro and cable car services came to a halt, forcing evacuations. Traffic chaos unfolded on city streets as residents reported widespread darkness. The Caribbean nation, home to nearly 11 million people, has been facing smaller blackouts in recent weeks. Just last month, Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 storm, killed at least 4 people in Haiti and the Dominican Republic as it tore through the region. Known as one of the Caribbean's top tourist destinations, the Dominican Republic's latest blackout highlights the fragility of its energy infrastructure. Thick fog in eastern Ukraine has allowed Russian forces to advance deeper into Pokrovsk, a key strategic city. Ukrainian 7th Airborne Assault Corps reports around 300 Russian soldiers are now in the city, a number likely increasing since last Wednesday, according to President Zelensky. The dense fog has hindered Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance, allowing Russian troops to move in columns on vehicles, which would normally have been targeted by drones. Most of the city is now in a gray zone, with neither side fully in control. Russian forces are attempting to encircle Pokrovsk and neighboring Myrnohrad in a so-called cauldron, using FPV drones to target supply routes. Ukrainian troops have pushed Russian forces back from Suvorov and Rodinsky to prevent full encirclement. Military analysts note that Russian units are infiltrating urban areas, sometimes disguising as locals or Ukrainian soldiers, to disrupt defenders before main assaults. Meanwhile, Moscow is also pressing offensives in Kupiansk in the northeast and Zaporizhia region in the south. Over the past week, tensions between China and Japan have escalated after Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanai Takaichi, made remarks about Taiwan. In Parliament, Takaichi said that if China attacked Taiwan, Japan could deploy its self-defense forces. This falls under Japan's 2015 security law term survival threatening situation. Beijing called her remarks highly inappropriate. Zhu Jian, China's consul in Osaka, posted a comment on social media that was interpreted as a threat against Takaichi. The post has been deleted, but tensions remain high. Long-standing animosity, especially stemming from World War II, complicates relations. Takaichi is known as a conservative hawk and a strong supporter of Taiwan. Her comments mark a move away from Japan's traditional strategic ambiguity on Taiwan. Japanese officials have rarely publicly discussed Taiwan security issues, making this stance particularly striking to Beijing. This is Daily Decode News. Stay with us and keep up with the latest updates.